Today I started off in Griffith. I probably woke up pretty early. And then, the end destination was Temora, which isn't very far. I think it's about 160 kilometers, or only a couple of hours, but I was going to a museum at Young, which is further past Temora. And I was also taking the scenic route through some towns. So the next stop was Ardlethan, and then going to Ariah Park and through Barmard and Bibury and Grenfell, and then going to the museum at Young, and then stopping off at Harden, and then driving back to Temora for the night stay, possibly past Cootamundra. So I went from Griffith to Barrowland. I really should have stopped at Barrowland. I'll have to stop there someday. And then went past some really nice old buildings and then got to Ardlethan. This is Ardlethan. It's a really cute little town. I've been driving around a storm which seemed to have kind of dissipated into a bit of rain. Not sure there's any thunder, but it looked like there could have been. Some nice old signs and stuff. The building, like 20s, 30s building. The businesses that used to be there. Not sure why that pharmacy looks so open, empty rather. It appears to be open. Once again, former business signs. It's nice. I like how they left them there. I went through Barrowland before. I should have stopped and videoed. That's even more of a nice old town like this. Just like that old Women's Weekly display in the window. There is a museum here. This doesn't appear to be signed as a museum, or at least there was at some point. I don't think it's open right now. It wasn't on my list. Yeah, I should have stopped at Barrowland, but I didn't really think about it. I did come this way last trip. I actually recognize it, so yeah, I can recognize some things apparently. And then between here and Barrowland, there was also an old shop that was just sitting on the side of the road. It had old signage on it, and it was clearly been closed for decades. That was pretty cool. I should have stopped there, but yeah, didn't. The news agency. Former news agency. Right there. Windows. Stained glass. Said hi to a couple of gentlemen sitting out at the side of this nice shop earlier. See the Peter's ice cream sign. It's being repainted. the rain's not going to let us focus it. And the museum is the least museum building here. This looks like an old pub. I thought that looks interesting when I came up around the corner. And now, okay, focus. That building there, the post office, looked interesting to me. But it started pouring with rain when I walked up there, so. Front of the post office. And then it was time to leave Ardlethan. Took a wrong turn, of course. It happens. This is what makes me late. And go along this. Yarrow looks like it has some nice old buildings, I think. Should probably stop in there someday. And then onto Ariah Park. So, in Ariah Park, I didn't know this little museum, it's a nice little museum, was going to be open. I think the opening hours said it wasn't. But it kind of shares, I think it's part of, like, there's a little op shop there. It shares the same entrance to that, but it's in the kind of next room. So I wasn't expecting this, but this was great. There was just like no one in there. I did go next door, have a chat to the woman who was running the op shop, and I bought a few things. I think I bought some DVDs or something. But yeah, this is just like a nice little collection of pretty varied things. The sound quality in here of this video is garbage because I hadn't figured out where the microphone was. I think I probably had my hand over it. It just sounds like it's really windy or something, almost, or in a pocket. But yeah, I wanted to film and photos so much in this town. Like, everything just looked so good. Like the old, partly rundown buildings and that. But it was just, the weather was miserable. And yeah, what I wasn't, all I was expecting to do was like drive through this place, and I was like, how much time do I have? But yeah, so this is all I have just inside the museum. And also got this postcard. Actually, the timestamp for this clip, this was probably Ariah Park as well. And then it was time to head up towards Barment Man. I don't actually... No, wait, this is the town where I got somewhat lost in it. It was very small, but there was nice old buildings, like 5 of them maybe. But I did find it hard to find where I was going there, I think. At least I think that was that. Or it could have been Burberry, which is where I headed to next. Now, the plan was to go up to Grenfell and then down to Young. But I think because it was raining and I spent extra time and was a bit late, I think I just went more straight across to Young. I think I'd like to visit Grenfell sometime, but it was a bit out of the way, and yeah, so I didn't this time, I think. Unless I did and I don't remember. I don't recognize it, but then I don't really recognize the other places as well. Barmedman and Brewery. And I must have gone there, I guess. When I got to Young, it was absolutely pouring with rain. I would have really liked to have explored around a bit more. There was a bit of traffic. Um, it's a little bit more busy than towns I prefer to visit. Um, I actually, I didn't realize until after getting home with this postcard that it's actually taken from right where I parked. Accidentally parked right in front of the Best and Less and went into the Best and Less for shopping to buy some clothes. Um, and I went almost right next door for lunch and got a really nice chicken burger at a a sandwich shop where everyone else seemed to be stopping. And yeah, they were a little different to what I'm used to, but it was pretty good. And despite having plastic cheese in it, right, really horrible plastic cheese, which I now hate very much, um, it actually made up for that. Uh, but then I think then I went to an IGA and also, um, and then I went to the information center that's in the train station. Um, and that was a fairly nice info center. The walk to it is like I parked across the road because I couldn't find the entrance, and then it was like this grassy slope that was just mud and mush, and it was just like it was like halfway to walking in a puddle. And I was just like so sure I was going to slip over, but I didn't. Um, and I got this brochure for a heritage walk that I should. So what I based my day around the Young Historical Museum. That was pretty good. Um, it's fairly big for a single building museum. There was a lot to see. Um, Not one of my favorites, but still pretty good. I couldn't remember whether I'd been there before. I might have actually. That's pretty usual. I don't know whether I'm hallucinating it now, but I, I'm sure it was this one, and it sounds right as well because I've made a name for it as well. I think there used to be another part of the museum across the river behind it, and there was a pioneer village type thing there as well. And I imagine it was called Lambing Flat Folk Museum, which Lambing Flat is part of it, but I can't find any evidence of it right now. So I don't know. Maybe that was a thing, or maybe I'm just imagining it. But either way, that's interesting. Um, yeah, I might have partly just been disappointed that it wasn't, something with extra buildings. Um, or it could have just been like I was wet and it was like, yeah, anytime I exited a building or car, I got soaking wet. Um, yeah, but that took up some time and distracted me from the wet. But then it was time to leave Young and go south towards Harden, which I had wanted to stop by because it had some nice old buildings. There was a museum there as well, but it wasn't open that day. I really don't remember which way I ended up getting there, but I think there was a few roads and I just kind of found my way there. Harden is apparently half abandoned. Although, actually, the more active part of the town is behind us. And then it was getting pretty late in the day, so I would have liked to have explored Harden more. I did get some nice cheap petrol at a nice independent petrol station. It was really surprising. Um, I was just like, oh, I don't need petrol, but I should stop and support these guys in the middle of nowhere with cheap petrol. Actually, I think it's a pretty big highway, so that was probably it. Um, I don't remember what way I went home. I think it was getting pretty late, so I think I was going to go via Cootamundra, and then I was like, nah, and then I almost did because I was trying to avoid the big highway. Um, I think it got dark on the way, so I don't really remember a lot of it. I think it was just driving to get back. Um, and then yeah, that was like the end of that day. The room I stayed in was fairly nice. Especially for the price. It booked out. Like I took the last room and it was booked out like almost a month before I went there. For I don't know what reason. Um, but I specifically went for that place because it was owned by the RSL. They own a couple of motels in town and they were a bit cheaper than the other ones. And I guess that being owned by an RSL, they're probably more likely to be better managed, and they seem to be. Um, they gave me a voucher for like $5 off a meal or a free drink or something, which I didn't use. I almost considered it. I was tired and I wanted to go to a nice cafe that I've been to before, but I found out that I thought I was going there at a time when it would be open, and it wasn't. And there was actually not that many places open there. So, last time I went to Temora, I really liked it, and this time it's just like, eh, uh, I'm disappointed. Um, I didn't enjoy the food much, although I think I was just as well absolutely tired of chicken burgers. Because it's like chicken burgers are like a good backup for me, but in this case, I didn't like it. And also, I think like the cheese has changed. I think it's like the takeaway provider has decided we all need really extra plasticated cheese, which tastes horrible and just ruins food. So I think there's that as well. Or it could be just that I don't eat junk food anymore and then I just don't like it. But no, I don't think that's really it. Um, but yeah, so I was tired and I just got over it. Well, was slightly disappointed, but got over it and went to sleep, I guess. that was the end of that day.